Keli Perek Chav Ches Mishnah Tes. Lots of small, interesting little cases. Keses Hasabolin Tameo Medras. We've actually had something similar before. If we go back to Perek Chav Vov, where we have something called the Oyer HaKatof. A katof and a sabel are porters, people who lug around heavy stuff on their shoulders. There we were talking about pieces of leather, now we're talking about a piece of cloth. Porters carry big stuff on their shoulders. In order to protect their shoulders, they have a big piece of cloth, more than 3 tefachim by 3 tefachim, to protect their shoulders. Says the Mishnah, Tameo Medras. This is because, although of course when it's on their shoulder, it's not available for Medras. However, these porters, when they're carrying the stuff, they put it on the shoulder. But when they're not carrying something, then as a secondary use, we've had this before at the beginning of Perek Chav, when something has a secondary use at a separate time, used for Medras and for Shchiv and for Yeshiva, it's therefore Mekabel Tumas Medras. And these porters, when they're not carrying something, they want to sit on the floor, they would use this cloth to sit on it. Therefore, as a secondary function of Medras, it's Mekabel Tumas Medras. Next case. Mishamera shel yain, ein bo mishum moishav. A piece of cloth used as a sieve for wine. So you have your vessel underneath, you put your piece of cloth over the vessel and you strain the wine through the beged. This beged, such a mishameres, is not used, it's not made for mishkav and moishav, you don't sit on it, and not only because it's dirty, it's filthy, even when you wash it and you clean it, says the Chazon Ish, it's still, you have been meyached it for a tashmish, which is definitely not medras, and therefore it is not Mekabel Tumas Medras. Next case, Svocha shel Zakeno Tameo Mishum Moishav. I'm sure you all remember, going back to Perek Chav Daled Mishnah Tezayin, we spoke about these nettings, these tichels, which the women have on their head. And there was a discussion there between a Svocha belonging to a young girl and one belonging to an old woman. And there was different geruses there. Whatever happens here, we are talking about the Svocha of a Zakeno, or an older woman, and such a Svocha is made for sitting on. She's not so makbid about how it looks. Therefore, when it's not on her head, she will sit on it. And therefore, it's Tmei Mishum Moshav. Next case. Choluk shel yotzei sachutz. We've had something similar before on this, also in Perek Chav Daled. A choluk, a shirt belonging to a yotzei sachutz. Bartanur tells us this is a prostitute, a zoina, somebody yotzei sachutz, a streetwalker. This shirt is made it's made in the form of a net, tohor, because it's not made as a proper malbush. The holes are very big. She wears this in order so that her skin should show through. It's not a malbush. Nobody else in their right mind would wear this, and therefore it loses its shame beged, and it's tohor completely. Similar then, ha'oisa beged min acherem tohor umizutoi tomei. Acherem is also a type of net used for catching fish. If you make a beged, you wear it, some sort of shawl, using this netting, it's tar. The holes are so big that it just doesn't have the tzura of a beged at all. However, if you make a beged mizutoi, when they make a net, at the bottom of the net, there is actually a piece of tightly woven cloth without big holes. If you make a beged from that, then of course it's tomei. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, even using the part of the chayrim which has got big holes, if you double it, thus reducing the holes, then you've now formed a beged. You're saying now that I'm not using the old big holes to me, I'm reducing the size of the holes. This is now a beged, and therefore it is tomei. One more Mishnah coming up.